while we're on international studies, as well as tangentially feces, I don't know if you saw, but the North Koreans, Taylor, have been systematically flying balloons of feces into South Korea.
Yeah, they're bragging. Look at all the food we have. We can make poop.
Did you hear the justification, Kyle?
Tell me.
Oh, you hadn't. So South Korea, the one that is our ally, has been systematically flying their own version of trash over, which is like K-pop and entertainment. And it's really
Wikipedia.
kind of it's propaganda. Can propaganda be true? I'm not sure, but they're sending over, hey, this is what life is like outside of North Korea, and the USB drives and shit like that. And they're like, we think that what you're sending us is disgusting filth, so we're sending you disgusting filth back, which is feces.
Yeah. They're sending culture north and they're sending shit south. Like they send things like sitcoms and stuff like that. So
what sitcoms? I'll be the judge.
All Friends, lots of Friends, I'm sure.
Simpsons.
Okay, early seasons.
They're yellow. Oh, they'd identify with the Simpsons, of course.
What if they are only sending like seasons 20 and up? I wouldn't be okay with. I'd be fine with them sending shit back if they're getting like season 28 of the Simpsons.
But some people call it a shit bomb. I think in India they'll be regarded as like sharing culture, like a culture drop type thing. I think it's
like
nice.
Care package.
Yeah,
just in time for the festival.
It's like a loot crate type thing. Like they just drop it on them.
A poop crate.
Yeah.
Zach, can we get a picture of the poop balloons going into South Korea?
And the thing is, it has to be a coordinated government effort to send this shit south. Like the thing going north is probably some aid group or some international group that's trying to send culture north or information north. They're like, hey, break out of your mindset. There's a bigger world. They probably haven't even seen a real world map before. But whoever's sending shit south, nobody's doing that without permission. You know what I mean? Like that seems like this is a government. That's one of those weather balloons. Like,
yeah. I mean, I'm sure the South Korean government is like sending like sitcoms and all sorts of shit up there. Like that's a super valuable way to like get people's minds. Be like, hey, if you like this, imagine how much more you'd like everything else we have not in North Korea. Like it's a good seed to plant.
Have you seen the YouTube channels that specifically have North Korean defectors and they expose them to Western culture? And
you showed me what you like linked me one of them like years ago, where it was just a poor skinny little guy eating an American serving size of barbecue and being baffled at every step of it, where he's like, and this amount of food would be for 10 families. And they're like, no, this is your entree. And we haven't even brought out your biscuits yet. And he's like, oh, what a wonderful place. And I'm Indian too. I'm Indian too now because I'm so stuck in that for this episode.
They show them all sorts of Western culture. A lot of the time it's food. I saw some guys, they seemed like Bedouin tribesmen from the Middle East, and they were eating lobster for the first time, and just trying to say the word lobster was difficult for them. So when it came out, they were terrified. If you've never seen a lobster before and someone plops one down on the table, it looks like a giant cockroach.
That's fair. Yeah. They don't know how tasty it is yet.
They're pretty freaky.
It's not.
I'm from Maine, and they're really freaky looking, bro.
It's just a butter shovel. It's the butter that's tasty.
It's a giant bug. It's a giant fucking bug that lives in the ocean. That we were like, why don't we eat the bug?
I will eat the ocean bugs, 100%.
I mean, they taste good in like a roll, but I don't like when my parents like they have the bug itself and they like pull it apart. They're like, they're sucking out the meat. I find that disgusting. I don't.
Yeah, I don't do crawfish either.
I do shit like that. Yeah,
crawfish look like roaches to me. Like. It looks like a big cockroach. It's got that tail on it and everything.
Yeah. I mean, of the sea bugs, crawdads are absolutely the worst because the amount of meat in there is so small.
I had a genius idea for how to. So we've got all these genetically modified foods, and for some reason people have an issue with them. I honestly don't. If you can genetically modify my tomato and make it last longer on the shelf, so that tomatoes in general are cheaper and more readily available, that's great. Why don't they make crabs with more legs?
Yes.
Add fucking legs to that bitch.
I love it.
Imagine if it had 12 legs on each side.
slow down. We don't do bodies.
Like a crab, but a
double
centipede.
legs would be like two crabs. We could tape them together.
Like a Siamese crab.
Centipede crabs, where it's just like rows and rows of delicious crab legs.
I'd like that.
And with a centipede crab, maybe you could snap every other leg off and put it back in the ocean.
Yeah, and
would they just go ass to mouth all the way, and then the back crabs are actually pretty gross?
Yeah.
No, it's one crab with many legs. It's a centipede crab.
Many-legged crab. He couldn't be more clear.
Centipede.
Yeah, let's just give a pig like 14 ass cheeks so we get, quadruple the bacon or whatever.
That's fine.
That'd be a great idea.
Yeah.
Just shitting everywhere.
We're already doing horrible things with factory farming to all these animals. Why not get fucking weird with it?
You're always against the factory farming. What's your problem?
It's because it makes me sad.
Which part?
The part where like you see a clip of a cow who is like kept in a warehouse his whole life, and then he touches grass the first time and he's like spazzing out. And I'm like, oh,
the internet has misled you. Okay. Those dairy cows stay in during the winter because there's no reason to go outside. It's just cold and barren out there. They need to be inside with their calves being milked. They let them out in the spring when the grass is back. That's why they're so happy.
Right.
Those cows love their jobs.
There's a misinformation campaign from Big Cow to shit on Big Steak, I think, and I don't think we should be taking that seriously. Honestly,
I will never stop eating meat ever. Like it could come out that like we're treating the cows 10 times worse, and I'll be like, that's a damn shame. But I wish that wasn't happening. Number 7, please.
Oh, but stop.
Yeah, I can taste the fear.
Cheaper.
Yeah, I do like meat too much to give it up.
I have a YouTube buddy named Vegan Gains. He made me watch this movie called Dominion, which is about factory farming in Australia and how horrible it is. And it's like comparable to the US, I guess. And the movie was like horrific to watch. It was like, it was basically just like gore of animals, but it was real. And so that night I was like, man, that's really disturbing. This is so fucked up. And I remember at the time, my girlfriend at the time, I got into like an argument with her where I was like, I don't want to eat it anymore. It's all fucked up. And so that night we went out and I got a Beyond Burger, and I was like, I ordered it, and then the person brought it to me with cheese, like cow cheese. And so I'm eating, and I was like, no, it's fine. I'll just eat it anyway. And I was like, as I'm eating it, I'm like, it's just not the same. So I woke up the next day and I just immediately started eating chicken. I just couldn't give a fuck anymore. The problem is that it's not nearly as good. Like I would be willing to eat like, vegetarian, vegan stuff. If it was good, I would eat like the lab grown meat too. I don't give a shit.
Really? That doesn't bug you at all? Because to me, it's a little icky.
I mean, a little bit, but like there's a lot of other stuff in food that's kind of icky too. I feel like if everyone was eating it, I would probably just start eating it. I wouldn't really care. I'm not going to be the one martyr.
I spent a lot of time in the cattle barns where you take cattle to be sold to the next step of their journey, which is the slaughterhouse, usually, or the feedlot. Feedlot's just where they fatten them up before they slaughter them. And you'd see some really rough stuff in there, like crippled cows and cows with big tumors on their heads and shit like that. And it's like, why did you even bring it here to sell it? Why don't you just fucking put this thing out of its misery in your field somewhere? Which is like exactly what we would do. Like if there's a cow that's suffering, you kill it. You don't, or you get it help. You don't drag it 20 miles to be sold for $300 to then be chopped up and fed to the populace.
Yeah. One of the most disturbing things for that movie was the chick grinder, because they don't have a use for male baby chicks. So they take the male baby chicks and they basically funnel them into this grinder that just chops them all up into little pieces while they're alive, and you just watch them go like.
Why don't male baby chicks get grown into chickens that you eat?
I think they didn't want to use them in this case because they wanted the female chicken so it could reproduce and lay eggs. So for that purpose, they didn't need.
Yeah, they're making hens there, and it's a different breed of chicken almost. The ones that are hens that lay eggs. It's not necessarily a different breed, but they genetically modified them naturally by interbreeding so much that the pullets, the ones that you grow for meat, are just kind of a different kind of bird. But yeah, I've seen them go in that grinder, and honestly, like, it's a good way to go. It's a good way to go. Like they don't feel any.
They're with all their friends.
It's better than the alternative, like living as a pullet and then getting slaughtered in those slaughterhouses. I can't remember who it was that informed us about chicken slaughterhouses. I had been there before. Like I've been invited to the slaughterhouse and gone and seen it, but I didn't see the shit they saw where like they like cut their throats with this machine, but then there's not really enough time for them to bleed out. So they're immediately doused in boiling water. And it's like they're just boiling in water with their throats cut. And it's like, that's pretty rough. I don't like that. That's not how I would want to go.
Take the head all the way.
No, I'm going for a cardiac event induced by orgasm. Is that on the table at all?
I want
forever.
them. They should CO2 them or something. Like just CO2 them all, or
that's actually how I kill animals. Like
CO2,
hopes rats and stuff.
You gas them?
No, I use dry ice, and then they just kind of freeze and fall asleep, and the CO2 I think settles at the bottom. I think I read, and they just sort of die and freeze, and it's supposed to be the humane way to kill like a rat.
Yeah. Or
why don't we do that with death row people? We're always
CO2?
looking for a more humane way to do it.
They used nitrogen on that poor fucker in Alabama like 3-4 months back. Remember?
Yeah, and he gently fell asleep.
Yeah,
right?
if you say so. I didn't get there was.
I made that up. I have no idea what happened.
I don't know what happened. I've heard that. I don't think that lethal injection is painless either.
Yeah,
a lot of drugs that they give you to like take you out of the bad place. Set and setting is really important. Like if you were to give me lots of ketamine or something right before you were going to kill me, I'd have a really bad trip.
Oh yeah, that'd be horrible. That'd be the worst time. You have your last meal and then you get a little bit too high because they bring you a weed pen and you're like, oh great, now I'm all stressed out on my big day. I'm gonna be fidgeting too much in the chair. You're sitting there and you're like self-conscious, like they know I'm high.
Ruin my reputation.
Am I giving my last words weird? That's how you think if you were too high.
Yeah, I know there's still places that hang, and I think there's places that do the firing squad too if you request it. I think firing squad would be the way to go if you had competent marksmen.
Yeah, 100%. I'd pick all my closest friends who are best with guns. Yeah, you should be able to pick your own squad, by the way. And
I'll use a bow.
No,
you were off the team.
You know what? That I could die,
dude. I'm gonna cut your heart in half. With
just
that
impaled with arrows.
Oh,
that of your lung.
Oh, like fair. Boromir.
Only one of them has a real steel head. All the rest are just wooden dowels that embed in my torso.
You want to go? You get that Boromir death.
I would die like Boromir, and you'd have to be dressed as Lurtz.
Of course.
Yeah, of course. And I could save 2 hobbits. Well, now it's just kind of the film, but that'd be cool. I'd like that. I wouldn't like that. I don't want to die that way. Don't kill me that way.
I got real high like 2 nights ago. I took one of those edible like gummy ropes we've got, and I took my kitchen shears and I cut off like just a little bit, like this much, like the tip of your pinky. And I picked all the little nerd candies off because I don't care for those, and I rolled that bitch up in a little ball like a booger, and I took it like a pill. Like I just swallowed it with some, because I didn't want to chew that shit up. They never taste good. And it came on so fast and hard. Like within an hour, I was just real good and baked and having a great time. And my girlfriend came in, and I was joking around with her, and I had her laughing, and we were having a great time. And she goes, "Hey, what's wrong with your eye?" And I was like, "I didn't know there was anything wrong with my eye until this very moment. Like, but now I'm very self-conscious. Why are you pointing at my face?" And I go to the hall bathroom and I look, and in this eye, you can't see it now. You really can't. There was a blood vessel broken, and it had done this big spider vein thing on like the right side of my eye. And it must have just happened because you could almost see like a little blood moving around under like the first layer of my eyeball. And being high and seeing that upset me so much and freaked me out so much. I walked out of the bathroom and I was immediately mad at her. I was like, "Why'd you have to fucking show me that? Why'd you have to show me that?"
It's really her fault, yes.
I'm so upset now. And like
I started swinging.
Do you remember like sneezing can sometimes induce that?
I probably coughed a little bit or sneezed, or we were laughing our asses off like right before. But so who knows? Something like that likely. But I started feeling worse and worse and worse, and I was like, "Oh my God, I'm having a panic attack. And I'm like sliding down the wall to sit on my butt, and I'm like, wet washcloth, hurry! And what I meant was those paper towels right fucking there. Those paper towels, wet them and get them to me in the next 8 seconds, which is how fast I could do it. Rip. 1, 2, 3. Here you go. Beat my 8 seconds. Look at that.
Mm-hmm.
I go unconscious, just completely passed out, sitting against the wall, but I've fallen all the way to my left side. So I'm laying on the floor out. I wake up. She's still not back with this washcloth. She's still not back. I'm like coming to, waking up, and I'm like,
you had to go to the store to buy washcloths.
I'm like, where are you? She's gone upstairs to get an actual washcloth. She's like, you enunciated washcloth so perfectly and clearly 3 times in a row. And I was like, yeah, because my brain was dying. I was being starved with oxygen. I was trying. It was the equivalent of going like I'm choking. Like I woke up and once I got the washcloth like on my face and my head, I was fine. Like maybe 2 or 3 minutes later, but she said she thought I was dying because I was so pale. Like I turned completely pale. My lips go blue because my body thinks I'm dying and draws all the blood into like my heart and my core or whatever. My hands go numb. My feet go numb.
How long were you out? Like 5 seconds of real time.
Probably 5-10 seconds of real time. Yeah. I have no idea, but you know.
That sucks. I saw your text about that. Dude. And it was like, I saw it literally. Woody responded like 40 minutes later and was like, just saw this. Are you all good? You know, we're good.
I was worried. You could feel the stress in the text.
I saw it like, I could feel the stress too. I saw it like 2 hours after Woody's 40 minutes after thing. And so I'm like, if I address this now, it might just remind him of a very recent and stressful time. I'm not going to ask him how his eye's doing because he might be watching a show having forgotten about his eye.
That's clever.
So I was like, oh, tactical.
Yeah, I was. Yeah, I had to chill out after that. I hate that. I have maybe 1 or 2 panic attacks a year, and I always get annoyed when people are like, yeah, I have them too. I get all stressed, and I just have to get out of there. Like, you don't have panic attacks. You have anxiety. I have panic attacks like Tony fucking Soprano where I hit the floor and wake up like bleeding. Yeah. Like I go out.
You need your own Dr. Melfi.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah, your own big-titted WAP therapist.
God, she was hot in the early years.
Yeah.
No. You know, she was the wife of Goodfellas.
I prescribe 1 poopy roll around. See how give it you all fixed up.
You need to go out to the world and experience culture. There's a festival in India I can recommend.
Really get it in that eye. I think that'll
I obviously don't keep up with the online drama nearly as much as you, Tom, but through you, Brandon, I think just you and Brandon, I saw like a week ago that some guy made a video bullying our boy, our main man, Wendigoon.
He did,
right?
Yeah.
Was it just Wendigoon or like
it was more slanderous, but yeah, it was funny. It's a bunch of people you guys have had on. I mean, it was me, it was Brandon, it was I don't know if Mudahar's been on the show, but he was included in there.
No.
Wendigoon was like the main subject, though. It was basically it was this like bread tuber, which for those in the audience who don't know, basically means that he's a socialist YouTuber. He made a video called "Conservative Horror Movies," and the last 40 minutes of it or so was dedicated to trying to explain how Wendigoon is a virulent right-wing racist. And there was a lot of association tying in there. A large part of it was like, here he is with Donut Operator. Donut Operator is a cop, which means he's a fascist bootlicker who defends the state. And the funny thing is, like, the examples he used were really funny. So first of all, yeah. So for Donut, he was like, he made this disgusting video where he showed a pedophile getting his head blown off. And like everybody in the audience is obviously like, that doesn't seem like that bad of a thing. And the funniest thing is he uses this absolutely hilarious thumbnail that Donut used, which says head removal on it with a picture of the pedophile and like the cop holding like a shotgun in his face. So there was that. He also did just a lot of poor research. He was like, Turkey Tom was accused of saying the N-word. And like accused is putting it very lightly. I said it on YouTube like not that long ago when I was playing Fortnite. I lost Fortnite. I fucking, it just came out. I was angry.
He was mad. He got shot. Yeah, give him the fucking break.
I got second place. I was pissed the fuck off. I can't think of a better word.
You should have said it more.
Yeah, I should have. But so there was that. He also said that Wendigoon, because he wears a Hawaiian shirt, he's a Boogaloo boy, which is like a domestic terrorist group. And he literally said in the video, he was like, Wendigoon is partially the cause of right-wing domestic terrorism in the United States. And people.
Damn, I didn't know he was so influential.
What?
I had the same.
That's the thing you don't know. He has a lot of high praise for him.
I thought he was making like lore videos about fucking forest monsters and cryptids. Yeah,
that's what I thought too. But those
are all dog whistles, clearly.
Mm-hmm.
He called Brandon a gun tuber. He said he was a gun tuber. He said Oompaville was a gun obsessed YouTuber. It was funny. It was like in his move to divide everyone. He kind of brought them all
GunTuber an
together.
insult? I thought that was like a category on YouTube.
To him, it's an insult, but Brandon is just not a gun tuber. So it just kind of showed that he.
Oh, okay.
He was
Yeah.
Well, a
not-
lot
he was
comes
not-
along with gun tuber. Like a gun tuber is a white right-wing conservative 99% of the time.
Oh, okay. To me, GunTuber was like gamer. Like FPS Russia wasn't political at all. But
I mean, you could say
No.
gamer too, and you would find you know that boils it down to mostly some white, nerdy neckbeard dudes.
So
When I think
anybody
gun
to the
tuber,
right
I
of
think
this
like
guy is not-
I think a guy who like just does videos about guns, and Brandon has
Yeah.
done like one video about guns, which is when he and I went down to San Antonio to hang out with Brandon Herrera, who was also called out in the video. Grand Thumb was called out in the video because Grand Thumb made a tweet saying that like open relationships are degenerate, and that was like a very detestable thing in this guy's view. But basically the point of the video was to say that Wendigoon should not be allowed. He said in public, he shouldn't be allowed in public, and he shouldn't be allowed to make YouTube videos about horror movies or cryptids. He also said that because his name is Wendigoon, Wendigoon is hearkening back to the Wendigo, which it is, but he said that's offensive to Native Americans.
What a fat
Holy
it was-
shit.
It was hilarious to see
The
after the
worst.
video, a bunch of Native Americans were like, "Fuck you, don't fucking talk about me, keep my name out of your
Well,
mouth."
it's not very nice to call that retard a faggot.
It's not nice. It's not nice.
Yeah, it will probably
Um,
hurt his feelings.
Yeah, after
This guy
it,
sucks, and I don't like him.
that's true. Brandon, I think he tweeted at him. He was like, "You're a low testosterone soy boy," and the guy was like, "Why are you making homophobic comments about me?" And it's like, I didn't even know you were gay, but Jesus, I guess that's part of it now.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just a very bad.
Why did that
video
guy
with
hear
horrible
low T and
research.
immediately think gay? That seems a little.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
There was another thing, like one of the funniest parts of the video was somebody made a YouTuber gay sex chart that a lot of people were put on Twitter, and Wendigoon was put on it as like a bottom, and he was like, Wendigoon replied to it, he was like, "Why'd you do this to me?" And the guy's like, "This is clear evidence that a cis white male is being homophobic because cis white men perceive bottoms as disgusting." And it was like, Jesus Christ. So it was a pretty bad video.
This guy's a provocateur who's bad at his fucking job but has no sense of humor, it sounds like.
It does.
Well,
Seems that way. Yeah.
It
I
almost
just want to laugh at things.
So to him, like everyone to the right of him, and he's a socialist. Anyone to the right of him is a Nazi. People making videos about Wendigos in the forest.
yes.
This is a tweet from Brandon Buckingham showing a picture of the guy who was ripping on Wendigoon and him. This self-righteous bread tuber thinks if you are friends with internet historian, donut operator, shoe on head, Oompaville, Mudahar, Grand Thumb, Turkey Tom, Brandon Herrera, or myself, then you are a bad person.
He pretty much looks exactly how you would expect. I'll say that.
Yeah.
What's a bread tuber?
A bread tuber is like a socialist YouTuber. I
like
can't
bread
remember.
lines?
It's like I don't think it's bread lines. I think it's some other thing. But
It's got to be
funny
bread
say
lines. Come on.
They say it's some book or something that references something about bread and the rich or something. I don't
Them and their
know, but
books.
Then
Yeah.
the-
Man,
Man.
this guy looks like he reads.
he looks like he reads for sure.
this guy reads Age of Consent laws.
Oh, he does. He reads them well. But there were so many videos made about him in the wake of it because he called out so many people that there was like tier lists made of like how good the videos about him in particular were, or like how good the thumbnails were. So it was it brought everyone together. Really, it did bring everyone
That's
together.
good.
Everybody got to come together to shit on this guy collectively.
That's nice.
and,
A little bit of
Probably what he
Christmas
wanted.
spirit.
It is
Probably
what
what
he was just trying to make us better friends, I think, and now we are.
Is this guy's video like? Does he get a ton of views or not even? Like he's not even a huge guy.
He deleted it like a day or two after, but he had 400,000 subscribers. But
Deleting
the motive,
is so dumb.
He didn't
deleting it
even
is
stand by his lies.
no, he took it down right away. But then he
Wow.
was like, "Well, the execution was bad, but I think my heart was in the right place," is what he said about it, which is just.
Oh, did he delete it because he felt like it was inaccurate?
He deleted it, I think, because he was getting shit. He said he felt like he was in the right, but he got some of the information wrong. But the only thing I think he apologized for was calling Brandon a gun tuber directly. I think that's the only thing he said. But the video is, you can kind of get a peer into his psychology. I hate using the like, oh, well, this guy is this way, so he can't make arguments. But in the video itself, he opens the Wendigoon part by talking about how he's rich, therefore he shouldn't be allowed to have an opinion on media. And earlier in the video, he's talking about how he's struggling to pay rent because his YouTube videos don't get views. And the reason why his videos aren't getting views is because he made a video. Well, that's a great question. Why include it? Well, he's been coping for a long time because of this video he made. So there's a movie you guys probably know, The Hills Have Eyes, right? About like cannibals who live in the hills. And this guy got a lot of shit for a video he made in which he said that the cannibals in the hills are an allegory for Black people or Native Americans, and the white people that are like being chased around by them are like colonizers and settlers that are moving into their territory. This was this is like a real thing. He said, like, he's like, this is what the movie director meant.
This is a bad film review. This is my least favorite kind of YouTube video.
Yeah, this
I think
guy's
it's
an actual
genius.
fucking retard.
He's reading into the literature. You guys don't know what you're talking about, okay? Frankly, I've heard of a lot of black cannibals in the United States, so I think it's completely accurate.
Maybe
but
he is. Yeah, I don't know.
Who knows?
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean,
comparing black people to a inbred racist, I think radioactive rape family of cannibals. Maybe
aren't all the
torturers.
bad guys white in Hills Have Eyes? I've only seen it, I think, once or twice.
They're
Many years
mutated
ago.
ill folk in this family that rape and murder and maybe eat. Maybe I don't know. I don't remember if they're cannibals or not.
it's certainly not the most progressive stance to take that they're actually an allegory for black people or Native Americans. But
Okay,
yeah.
so this guy starts with his ideology and then backwards engineers all media he consumes to comport to that.
Avatar's right there, dude. What are you doing?
Yeah, this guy, this guy looks like a fucking idiot in his Hawaiian shirt. He's wearing a Hawaiian shirt.
Well, he's wearing it because he's doing it as parody. So in the video itself, he's like, it's actually disrespectful for me to say the word Wendigo out loud, but I have to say it here for the purpose of research purposes, which is crazy. It's just a crazy thing to say. Like, I thought like the N-word was like the word that people would say you can't say out loud, but the word Wendigo, like Wendigo, like that is a crazy thing to say. There's a lot of other shit. The video is filled with gold. At one point he says everyone in Appalachia, like where Wendigoon is from, should be assumed to be racist until proven otherwise. That's
all right. Well, he might have a little
prejudice.
Look, you can't get everything wrong. All right,
he says that.
Wait. Actually, this guy's winning me over. He's pretty cool.
Oh, he got you? Okay. You guys are all on board with that. You guys are the ones.
We've been to Appalachia.
Yeah.
No, I'm Team Appalachia. Those people are victims. They get no money from the Fed, and they're sitting there trying to make ends meet through their moonshine operation.
Victims of subpar dental care.
Entrepreneurial spirit.
I remember driving my Middle Eastern friend through Cherokee, North Carolina, and we drove past the Confederate store. I don't know if you've ever been to Cherokee, North Carolina, but you'll recognize the Confederate
store.
Absolutely. It is a store bedazzled with the Confederacy. Okay. Interior and exterior is nothing, but they have
like the open market.
They have Confederate flag dream catchers in that bitch. They have nice? They're so nice. Okay. They keep dreams of black people away.
Okay. Martin Luther King is not
just like slavery.
Not having a dream there.
Marriage our season, I just had the scariest dream. We had a black president.
Again. It's not real. It's not real. Go back to bed, honey.
Like they're flying so many Confederate flags. I don't care if you want to fly one. I'll tell you what I really don't like is the upside down American flag thing. I don't like them doing anything to I don't like when people wear the American flag. I don't like when you turn it upside down. I don't like when you put that fascist blue stripe through the middle. Leave it alone. Is it Susan B. Anthony? She got it right the first fucking time. All right, I mean, we add more stars as time goes on, obviously, but that's like in the UFC when you get another fucking ruby on your belt every time you defend your title. Mm-hmm. I like this. I think
what's the Betsy Ross flag look like? Is that the with just 13 stars?
I don't know.
Betsy Ross? What does Susan B. Anthony do?
I don't know, but I think she made the one that another history lady.
The Republicans adopted the Betsy Ross flag for some period of time, and
there's the one that's like the American flag, but where the stars are, there's like a big white swastika. That's a pretty fire one, That's some new lore.
that was huge for one decade, a century ago.
Yeah, they say America.
It's like Susan B. Anthony. Yeah, it's just Betsy Ross. Susan B. Anthony was just like. She was a suffragette. She was.
I do not like her.
Yeah, taking that. By the way, if you look at a picture of her, you'll see fucking why. My God.
Okay, I'm team fucking. What was her name? Betsy Ross.
Betsy Ross. Yeah.
Is
she the one that made the flag? Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what she did after making that beautiful flag?
She shut the fuck up like a good wife.
It to herself. Do you like my flag I made, sweetheart? It's fine. Dinner's not ready yet. And then this bitch shows up a century and a half later and goes,
that's Susan B. Anthony.
Susan, that's a girl.
We put that lady on a coin.
No,
she has
I would never
a good jawline.
That is a masculine woman, dude. Like if you look at her from get rid of the eyes and put a man's haircut on her, and that's just a dude.
Yeah,
Dude.
She's been mewing a lot. Jesus Christ.
Dude,
her haircut
Zach,
now
slow
kinda
down.
looks
I
like
can only get so erect.
She kind of got that hair of the berries and cream.
She's big into
Starburst
jazzercise. Oh my
commercial.
god! Look at that
Look
fucking
at that.
jaw.
Wow.
Look at that, built like a linebacker. This bitch.
Dude, if she'd be UFC champion if she existed today.
Yeah,
She looks like
I want to vote.
Lesnar.
Where? No, get over it.
Zach, see if this lady might have been a man. If there's any theories about that, or if did she ever bear children? You know, was she married to a gentleman, like, or was she like single her
There
whole
is
life
no
or something?
way she was married.